Well, it's spring on the Frugal Gardener's homestead. It's overcast this morning. And as you can see, we're back in the garden. I garden in West Virginia, the hills of West Virginia. I'm in zone 7A. And for those of you who are new to the channel, well, first of all, welcome. But I think a brief explanation is in order. I am in the middle of constructing my, I guess you can call it a mini ecosystem. I struggled the couple of years that I've been up here because of a lack of bees, a lack of birds, and predators. Can't forget those. So what I decided to do was build this enclosure. It's 12 feet wide. It's 40 feet long, almost halfway to midcourt on the basketball field. And this is a work in progress. It took me, I would say, a couple of months to design this. And this is probably week 3 of me working on this. The goal of this video, or these videos, I should say plural, is not to get you to duplicate this, not to get you to replicate this. The goal is to give you ideas, things that you might want to incorporate in your garden to make your garden better. Everything here, I said in previous videos, this is all intentional. I am going to spare you going over the whole layout because if you are regulars, you've already heard what I'm going to do. So I'm going to get right to the point of today's video. The first thing I'm going to do is give you guys the results of a test that I started in late January of growing basil. This is from city water. This is from tap rainwater. And this one is from my water filtration system. I use Epic, and you can see for yourself the difference. Now, I have a bunch of these going around the house. This is not one of them, but all of these are sweet basil, and I grow these primarily to give away, but I also use those in my cooking and also give some to the frugal daughter. I should have cut these back way before now, but I've been extremely busy, so I'll get back to that in a minute. So today is the day. Everything that I've planned, everything that I've ordered has finally arrived. This is going to be the heart of the video today. This is a water fountain. This is a bird feeder. These are lights. This is, I'm really excited about this. This is a drip hose, but this is solar. Nothing that I have in this garden, like I said, I planned this out very carefully. Nothing requires electricity. Everything is solar. This is solar. This is solar. This is solar. And I have a couple other things going on, but we're going to get to those. Like I said, the first thing I want to get to is the results of this test. And this little orange thing, I saved for last. I saved this for last because this is something that I think is going to be very helpful to me and possibly to you guys also. And I've never used one of these before. So I'm going to share with you what it is. And like I said, these are all things that you may want to add to your garden. And I'll get also to this and this. Like I said, there's a lot going on and I'm making a lot of progress. So I'm real happy about that because the weather's warmed up and it's time to plant. Okay, let's get this done over here so we can get on to the main attraction. This is pretty obvious. The star for me is this one here. Now, another thing you should keep in mind is that these seeds are 2 years old. So this was a 2-for. I didn't want to just do this to see which water source was going to be better, which way of watering was going to be better. I think that it's kind of a toss-up between these two for second. But for me, this was clearly the top plant, because look at how many of the seeds germinated. Look at how full it is. This I'm going to cut back right around here, and this will grow out. This will grow out. These will last for 4 to 6 months, and then you can take them in and hopefully extend their life going into the winter, or you can just ditch them and grow more. I also planted this because I wanted to show you that you don't have to go out and buy containers or pots. You can see the roots here. This I just threw some seeds. This is an old Deer Park spring water bottle, and these were containers that I had laying around. $6 is what one of these will cost you at Tractor Supply. You can also get these from Home Depot. I'm talking about the actual plants, this roughly around this size. You can get them at, I think Walmart sells them. I know Home Depot sells them. Lowe's sells them. And like I said, Tractor Supply sells them. But you can also split these up. This is more than one plant. I put a couple of seeds in there because I wasn't sure if they were all going to germinate. So there you have it, the results. And now I can cut these back so they can grow out to be fuller, and we can basically call this a wrap. Now, here's the deal. Again, just real quick. Last year and the year before last, I've been up here for 3 summers, and bees were scarce, very hard to come by, and I had a hard time growing. Down here I put together a smaller garden, much smaller than this, and I fenced it off, and I was successful. But I was successful because it was basically a small area, and I was able to plant enough pollinators to get people, to get the bees and the birds and butterflies to come in. So I intend to recreate that with this. I am recreating that with this. You can see where I've dug up this ground here. I used this broad fork to loosen up the soil. I still have to do this side here. This center here is going to be 2 feet. It's going to be a walkway here that's 2 feet, a walkway here that's 2 feet. That's why this post is here, so that you can see this is going to be 3 feet. This is where a lot of the action is going to be, because this is where a lot of the melons are going to be. And the reason why I'm bringing you guys up to speed on that is because I finally got the mulch. This was, I'm not sure if it still is, on sale, $2. I mean, this was the best deal that I've seen in a long time. And I have, like, I don't know if you can see down there amongst the mess, I have 10 bags, which is probably not going to be enough because this is a long space. But this is going to be the walkway going up in here. I need to get that in because the grass is starting to come up, and I don't want to have to deal with the grass. And that's part of the reason for the mulch. Another reason is aesthetics. So while we're talking about that, I'm going to get to all the bells and whistles in a minute down here. But I want to show you guys the other thing that I'm using as the ground cover, and that is this straw. I buy this straw for my chickens, but I've used this in the past, but I've gotten a really good deal on this now from Tractor Supply. Again, a little plug for them. I'm not really getting anything for that, but I go there for my chicken feed and other things, so I figure why not. That straw is going to go over top of these melons. Once these melons are planted, it's going to be watermelon, honeydew melon, cantaloupe, and also banana squash. They're all going to be in here. From here, going all the way down here. And when they come up, this straw is going to cover them to help keep the ground moist. We're going to have probably another really hot summer, and if the ground is going to be anything like it's been in the past, then that means I'm going to have to spend a lot of time and a lot of water keeping these melons from drying out. So once they sprout, once they come up, then yeah, I'm going to put the straw over top of them, and hopefully that will cut down on my water bill. I say hopefully because, like I said, I've done this in the past, but this is on a much larger scale. So yeah, now to the good stuff. This is, let me see, where should I start? This is one of the solar water fountains that I have. I have one set up down the other end of this garden, and this is how it looks when you open the box. This is upside down, but I'm sure you guys have seen these before. So that is going to be down this end. Because this area is so wide, I'm going to have one down this end and one down that end, which is actually in that white, on top of that gray barrel, I guess it's gray, is that white dishpan, and one is in there. I'll show you when I get back down that way. But this is another thing that I wanted to cover today. These are the seeds I keep forgetting to bring out that are going to go right outside this fence. I tried planting seeds up and down this whole embankment last year, which was unsuccessful. Let's just put it mildly, say it's unsuccessful. And the reason, again, is to attract the birds and the bees. So I'm going to go over that with you in a minute. This is something I've spoken about in the past. I had this here already. This is a bee hotel, and something I was not familiar with until last year. So the bees will come in here and they will lay eggs. The downside to this is that I'm not going to get any benefit out of this until next year, but that's okay. These are my cherry bell radishes that are growing here that need to be watered. Let me see. These are the solar wind chimes that I'm going to put up today. They're going to go up over this arch that I put up recently. And they are, as I said earlier to you guys, that they are solar. This is new to me, but I'm very excited about this. This is my solar drip irrigation manual. That's a mouthful. The kit, here it is. This, once I set it up, once I point the camera in the right direction, you'll see it looks high tech. If I have any issues with this, I'll call the frugal daughter or frugal nephew or my son. They're good with this kind of stuff. But this can feed water to about 10 different plants. So that's something I'm going to set up. And like I said, this is the first for me, and I am excited about getting to use that. The other thing is kind of low tech, but it's still something that is going to help me a lot. And that is this metal bird feeder. Now, there's a reason why I specify metal bird feeder, because this is supposed to be squirrel proof. Again, we shall see. This is how it looks. This is also going to be up today. So this is going up today, and the bee hotel is already, I set this up a couple of weeks ago, and the solar, move this out of the way, the solar wind chimes is also going up today. By the way, yes, it's aesthetics, but that's not the only reason why I want to do solar wind chimes. They are supposed to deter the deer and other animals. So, I'm a little bit skeptical. I've used wind chimes for a couple of years, so I'm kind of used to having them in the garden. It makes the garden look cool, at least I think so. And if it helps keep the deer away, that's a bonus for me. So the one thing that I have not yet mentioned to you are my lights. I'm not going to take these out now because I'm not going to put these up today. This is something I'm going to put up once I get this fence more secure. I'm still trying to decide whether I'm going to put this across the back or whether I'm going to put it across the front, because this is not going to go across the whole back, because as I said to you guys in the past, this is 40 feet. That's a lot. This is something else that I'm really looking forward to. This was sent to me. I'm going to do a separate video on this, but this is a really solid hummingbird feeder. I showed you guys one, I think it was a week, 2 weeks ago, that was $3 that I got from one of the dollar stores, and they don't last very long. This I'm going to have to clean up a little bit because I had it outside in the rain. But yeah, it's glass and it's sturdy, and I expect this to last for years and years. But right now, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on it because, as I said, there's so much going on, and I really don't want to throw everything at you guys at once. But just a quick stop here. If you've been following the progress, you'll see how this elephant garlic has bounced back quite nicely. So I'm real happy with that. So I'm not going to put all this mulch down today. I'll put down a bag just so that you can see where I'm going with this, so you can get an idea of how this is going to look. But I wanted to walk you guys down to this end and show you, well, there's no sun, so this fountain is not really putting out a lot today, but this is what it's going to look like. This is going to be at the opposite end, and when the sun was shining the other day, this thing was kicking pretty good. So this is supposed to bring in the birds. So that was my intention for doing that. So if I have one down this end, one down that end, and I have the hummingbird feeders, I have they're probably in that cooler, but I have 2 other hummingbird feeders that I'm going to put up around here, and you get the picture. Between the hummingbird feeders and the water feature and the chimes, I'm also going to add that was the one thing that I forgot to order, and that is the bird bath. So I'm going to order the bird bath, and that's also going to bring in the birds. Now, the last piece of the puzzle is the flowers, the plants. I spent a lot of time researching that, and I'm going to go over that with you right now. I spent a ton of time researching these flowers. Years ago, when I was younger and thought I was being clever, I didn't really care about the flowers because my motto was, if I can't eat it, I won't grow it. Well, as it turns out, if I don't use some of these flowers, then I may not end up with anything to eat. So I had to backtrack on that as I got older And so here is what I came up with. So here's my criteria. It had to be something that was deer resistant, or at least semi-deer resistant. And what I mean by semi-deer resistant is the deer will only eat it if they are like really, really hungry. If they're really starving, they'll eat it. A lot of these, according to my research, is that the deer may eat these in the early stages when they're first starting to germinate. So I may have to cover these in the beginning, but once they get up to a decent size, the deer won't bother them, the rabbits won't bother them. And oh yeah, by the way, I saw my first rabbit yesterday evening. Again, when I say first, I mean first of the season. We started out with 1 or 2, and then we ended up with about 6 or 7. But we also have other predators around here. And well, you know, you can figure out what most likely happened. I am very curious about how this is going to turn out. So my first criteria is that they had to be deer proof. My second criteria is that they had to be perennials. I didn't want something I had to keep planting over and over again. 2 of these are not. I forget which 2. I think this trumpet vine is one of them. 2 of these, I will let you guys know. I'll go back and check my notes to see which of these are not going to come back every year, which is fine because this is overkill. Some of these I've never heard of before until recently. There's a bee right there. Huh. The 4 o'clocks I used to use all the time, and there are different varieties of most of these. So I love these because of the color. I love these because I don't have to replant them every year. I love these because if this goes the way I expect them to go, which I don't see why not, then we're going to have all kinds of activities. There are specific colors that bees and birds are attracted to. So that was my other criteria. So they had to be deer resistant. It had to be something that would come back every year. And it had to be something that was colorful, that had the colors that will attract the bees and the birds and the butterflies. I'm after them all because I'm putting a lot of time and a lot of money into this project this year. And the lavender is something that I've already been planting around the property. So that's not a big deal. My goal today was to put down this the pathways with this mulch. It's also to put up my wind chimes and to do a couple other things. But this video is running longer than what I expected it to, and I don't like giving you guys long videos. I know you guys are busy. I know you guys have things to do. I still have to fill this one here. There's still a lot that has to be done. So what I'm going to do is cut to the thing that I promised, which is to show you guys what's going on with this orange thing. And I'll do a part 2 where I'll show you what everything looks like once it's set up. Well, for those of you who haven't guessed, this is a repotting station. This is a repotting mat that I think is pretty cool. I think it's pretty convenient. I stopped what I was doing because I wanted you guys to see. This is just one solid piece, and you snap the corners together, and basically what that does is keeps the soil in one place so that when you're done, instead of having a mess, boom, you just take it over, take it outside or wherever you're working, and get rid of it. It's pretty cool. They come in different sizes. I think this is a medium. It's actually bigger than I thought it was, or thought it would be. And I mean, it just takes a couple of seconds. It's just like snapping the buttons on a jacket. I'll give you a little better look, closer look. You know, I think over here, and it just snaps in these four corners, and you're good to go. I probably should have put this together on a larger table, but again, like I said, I didn't realize it was going to be as big as it is. So that's a plus in my book. So that's it. This is my little bonus for today. I need to get busy because there's a lot to do. I still have to start planting. The only thing, I said I had everything that I needed. Well, I'm still waiting for my neighbor to bring my truckload of soil. This is what I did with the Broad Fork a couple of days ago. I loosened all this up, and that's basically what it's for. And this post here is kind of a marker to show me the distance, because this is not supposed to go over 3 feet, because if it does, it's going to encroach upon my walkway here. The next time you guys see this, these walkways will at least be partially done. And I'm not going to do anything, like I said, with the straw until actually everything goes in. But the walkways will be partially done. The wind chimes will be up. I'm going to hang those up here, so the wind chime will be up. The bird feeder will also be up. The this one here, I'm going to wait until I see the hummingbirds before I assemble this one. And the second water feature should be up. So there's a lot going on. As I said before, I'm going to hold off on putting the lights up until I get other things done. The lights are kind of a bonus for me. Other than that, everything else is still a work in progress. I don't need to put the drip irrigation up until after I get some plants going. This is the Broad Fork that I was telling you guys about. That's a whole nother video. I don't want to get into it right now. I do still have plants to get into soil. This apple tree is one. It's been sitting in this bag for about 2 weeks now, which is something I probably should not have done. So that's it for today, gang. Thank you again for coming back. If you are a regular, if you're new, please subscribe. I mentioned to you guys before about these autumn olives. You can see that they're progressing, and once these berries start to form, I'm not going to miss my opportunity to get them this year like I did before. So I'm going to water this, I'm going to work on this, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Please subscribe, please hit the notification bell, and please repost and tell your friends. I'm the Frugal Gardener. Remember, when you grow your own food, you'll always know where it comes from. Catch you guys on the flip side.